There was a time when gods walked among men. Before empires, before legends, before Olympus claimed the sky. And then something was born that was never meant to be. A demigod forged in pain and glory. Hunted by the Queen of Heaven herself, Hera. His true name was Heracles. The world would call him Hercules. And from his first breath, he was born into war with the gods. Hercules was born from a lie. Zeus wanted Alcmen, a mortal too pure to touch. So he stole a face. He became Amphitryon, her husband. And in one night, he created a demigod. When the child was born, the sky shook. Hera knew Zeus cheated. But this one cut deeper than the rest. So she swore the baby would not live. That first night, 2 venomous snakes slipped into the cradle, but the infant grabbed them and strangled them with his bare hands. The message was clear: you don't kill this child easily. Hercules grew up unstoppable, trained by heroes, sharpened by archers and masters, forged by Chiron, the wise centaur who taught him discipline. His strength was beyond mortal. He lifted stones 10 men couldn't budge. Even the lesser gods whispered, "He's becoming too powerful." But Hera's hatred grew with him. And Hera doesn't forget. Not while Zeus's bastard still breathes. Hercules tried to live like a man. He married Megara, princess of Thebes, daughter of King Creon. Children, a home, peace. And for one heartbeat of a lifetime, he thought it was over. But Hera doesn't forgive. One night, she came down from the sky and poured divine madness into his mind, a black mist that warped what he saw. And in that nightmare, Hercules murdered Megara and his own children. When the fog vanished, he looked at the blood on his hands. The scream he let out was so raw, even Olympus went quiet. He went to Delphi, begging for redemption. The oracle gave him a verdict. Serve your cousin, King Eurystheus. Complete 10 labors no man can survive. But Eurystheus was Hera's puppet. He added rules, traps, humiliation. 10 became 12. And that's when the real story begins. Before continuing, don't forget to subscribe and like. First mission, Nemean lion. No blade could cut it. He choked it to death and wore its skin. Second mission, Linnaean Hydra. Heads regrew. Iolaus burned the stumps. Hera sent a giant crab, crushed. Arrows turned venomous. Third mission, Ceryneian Hind. Sacred to Artemis. Captured without blood. Fourth mission, Erymanthian Boar. A raging beast that ravaged villages. Chased it uphill until it broke. Fifth mission, Augean Stables. Impossible to clean in a single day. Hercules rerouted 2 rivers and washed the filth away. Sixth mission, Stymphalian Birds. Metal-feathered killers. With a divine weapon, he drove them from the forest. 7th mission, Cretan Bull. Poseidon's rage. Hercules brought it down with sheer strength. 8th mission, Mares of Diomedes. Man-eating horses. Hercules tamed them by feeding them their own master. 9th mission, Hippolyta's belt. Hera ignited war among Amazons. He still took the belt. 10th mission, Cattle of Geryon. 3-bodied giant. Hercules killed Geryon and his hound Orthrus. Cattle returned. 11th mission, Apples of the Hesperides. Guarded by an immortal dragon. Atlas fetched them while Hercules held the sky. 12th mission, Cerberus. No weapons, he descended alive into the underworld and dragged the 3-headed hound to Eurystheus, who, terrified, begged him to take it back. But the labors didn't end the legend. Hercules sacked Troy to free King Laomedon. In Libya, he faced Antaeus, a giant who drew power from the earth. So Hercules lifted him off the ground and crushed him. He struck down Busiris, the butcher priest of Egypt. And in Sicily, he battled Poseidon's sons. He married Deianira, and without knowing it, she became his doom. Tricked by the centaur Nessus, she coated a tunic in poisoned blood. Hercules put it on, and his skin began to burn, pain beyond words. He knew it was over, so he built his own pyre on Mount Weda. No one would light it until Philoctetes stepped forward and did what others couldn't. Fire took the mortal flesh, but it could not touch what was divine. Zeus raised him to Olympus, and Hera, after a lifetime of hate, finally let him in. To end the war, he married Hebe, Hera's daughter, the goddess of youth. From that moment, he was no longer just a hero. He was a god. And after all this time, his name still stands for one truth: the victory over chaos, over suffering, over tragedy, over death itself. Hercules didn't start as a hero. He was made by pain, by guilt, by a goddess's wrath, and by a will that wouldn't break. And as long as stories are told, his legend will never die. Join the fight, subscribe to Epic Stories, because the legends never end.